when they think, oh, I'm on Facebook Marketplace, my Facebook is definitely handled. There's nothing else that I need to do on Facebook to be competitive. That is completely false. What's going on, dealers? This is Sam from Shapeshift, back at it again with another video. If you're new here, I've been in the digital marketing space for over 10 years and spent the most of that in automotive marketing. And on this channel, we talk about how dealers can maximize the results that they're getting out of their Facebook and Instagram campaigns. So if that's something that interests you, you might want to consider subscribing. So today we're going to talk about a common misconception I hear quite often when I'm asking dealers, how's your Facebook campaign going? And a lot of times they'll actually respond with something about Facebook Marketplace, which is totally separate from Facebook ads. And today we're actually going to dive into the key differences between the two platforms that reside on Facebook for car dealerships. So let's go over a brief summary of the two. Facebook Marketplace is the classified section of Facebook where if someone is on their Facebook newsfeed, they actually have to navigate to Facebook Marketplace section, and then they have to, set a radius. So let's just, in this example, let's do 20 miles of San Jose, California. And then they actually have to type in something in the keyword search. So let's say 2018 Nissan Sentra. And they're going to see all the 2018 Nissan Sentras within a 20-mile radius of whatever city they're selecting. And if they click on it, this is Facebook's own Facebook Marketplace listing page for this vehicle, and they can message your dealership if they're interested in this 2018 Nissan Sentra. So that's pretty much how Marketplace works. Now let's go over Facebook ads. Facebook ads lives natively on your newsfeed, which is the default page any Facebook user sees when they log into Facebook is their newsfeed with all of the content from their friends and family and pages they follow. And your ad is going to be a sponsored post between all of these posts that they're scrolling through. And if they click on this ad, they'll be taken to the vehicle detail page on this dealership's website. Now, instead of taking them to the website, you can also choose to set up a different ad where if they click on the vehicle, they'll actually be taken to a lead form that is native to the Facebook platform. This is Facebook's own lead form that you can customize, and the customer can hit submit and send that to the dealership. And that's pretty much Facebook ads at a very, very high level. Now let's get into the key differences between these two platforms. So the first difference is going to be the placement. So with Facebook Marketplace, it doesn't live on the native newsfeed. You actually have to navigate to it and actually go out, take some actions to find what you're looking for. So going into the Marketplace section, typing something in the search, and if your dealership has this car, your dealership is going to show up in search. If your dealership doesn't have this car, then you're out of luck. You're not going to show up, and the competitors that have this car, they're going to show up instead. So this whole process works similarly to other automotive marketing shopping sites, such as Craigslist, such as Cars.com, such as Car Gurus, where the customer searches for something, and if you have that car, you show up in the search results. The placement for Facebook ads is very different from almost all other automotive shopping experiences where you don't have to wait for the customer to search for you. You're actually going out and finding them. And if you're setting up your targeting correctly, you're going to serve them up relevant pieces of inventory to people who are actually in the market to buy these pieces of inventory. So for example, this ad here ideally should be served to someone who's actually looking for a pre-owned sedan and not necessarily someone who's looking for, say, a brand new truck. It's a little bit more complicated to set up, but if you know what you're doing, you can actually take a proactive approach and go out and find new shoppers who might have not heard of your dealership, who might have not searched for your cars, who might have not been on your website. This is a great marketing tool that differentiates itself from other channels where it is waiting for someone to search for your car. You're actually taking a very proactive approach and going out and bringing your inventory. Hey, heard you were looking for sedans. Here are all of our sedans for your convenience, for you to check out. You didn't actually have to do anything. You just logged into Facebook. You're just scrolling through your posts and boom, sorry for the convenience. Here are the cars that you might be interested in. So if I'm weighing the two, which would you rather have? Would you rather have just another fourth, fifth, sixth platform where you're waiting on someone to search for your cars? Or would you opt to go with a totally different marketing strategy and actually go out, be proactive, and bring your inventory to people who might have not searched for you? If you want to diversify your marketing strategy, you should definitely be putting some money into Facebook ads and targeting the right people so that some of your marketing dollars is being proactive instead of everything being reactive. So the second difference I want to go over is with Facebook Marketplace, you're at the mercy of the customer's search radius. If your dealership resides 22 miles outside of this search radius, but the customer has only put in a search radius of 20 miles, well, guess what? Your vehicles are not going to show up. And if they do, they're going to show up at the very, 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 very end of the search because you're outside of the targeting radius that the customer is searching for. So with Facebook ads, you actually have full control over how far or how close you want to target car shoppers. You can actually tell it, okay, I only want to target people who are within 15 miles of my dealership. You can go further. You can say, okay, I want to target people who are up to 44 miles outside of my dealership. And you can even go 200, 300 miles if you just drop more pins. You can go after your entire state. There is really no limit in how far you can actually propagate your inventory to potential car shoppers. If you ship your cars nationwide, you can even go target the entire United States. And as long as you have a decent budget to actually support a wider radius, there is no limitations on how far you can go with your targeting. So if I'm weighing the two, again, Facebook Marketplace, you're restricted to the actions of the buyer, and every buyer is going to have a different action, right? Some people are going to set a wide radius, 30, 40 miles. Some people might set a 5-mile radius, and they might miss out on your cars if they're not setting the right radius. And that is completely out of your control. With Facebook ads, you have full control over your campaign as far as targeting radius. Now let's talk about what happens when someone actually clicks the ad. So if someone clicks the ad for Marketplace, they'll get taken to this page that is created by Facebook that, again, you cannot control what is on here besides the stuff that is in the feed. You can't customize this page. You can't customize your prompts or anything like that. You can't even remove this price comparison bar. All the stuff that you hated on CarGurus, it's made it to Facebook Marketplace. You can't remove that. There is no control over this page at all. And if someone is interested in this car, the main way they're going to get a hold of you is by sending a chat message. Now with Facebook ads, you have, again, more control over what happens when someone clicks this ad. So if you're doing a traffic ad, if someone clicks on this ad, you can actually direct them to whatever website or page you want to direct them to. Usually it's best practice if you direct them to the vehicle they're clicking on. And on your website, you have full control over the prompts, the layout, the content, everything like that when you're actually using Facebook ads to drive traffic to your website and not to a Facebook Marketplace listing. Now, the other cool thing you can do is instead of driving traffic, you can even collect forms right on Facebook itself. And this form is customizable. You can ask as many questions as you want. First name, last name, email address, phone number. You'll have a full contact when you use this lead form. And you pretty much have information for you to follow up with this customer. For Facebook Marketplace, if you're chatting with this customer and they haven't given you their email address or phone number, there's no way for you to call them, and there's no way for you to send emails, email blasts, email follow-up, none of that stuff. So the last thing I want to talk about is targeting. With Facebook Marketplace, you are limited to just who has searched for your car, who has decided to sit down today and go into Marketplace and search for a car that you have. If you're lucky, you have a car and you show up. If you don't have the car, you don't show up. Again, you're limiting yourself and your audiences to just people who happen to have searched for a car that you happen to have, right? There's no way for them to psychically tell what cars you have. So you just have to wait for a customer to happen to search for one of your cars, and hopefully all of your competitors don't have a great deal and you have the best deal for that car. With Facebook ads, you can actually control who you're targeting, who you're serving ads to. I mean, if you wanted to blanket the entire city with your car ads, you could absolutely do that. I wouldn't advise that, but you can absolutely serve everyone in the city your car ad if you had enough budget and you just set no targeting on your Facebook ad campaign. A better way to do Facebook ads is if you have specific audiences that you think would be interested in your vehicle. So for example, at Shapeshift, we have access to Oracle audiences who are in market. So we can actually serve, let's say that sedan ad that you saw, we can actually serve it to people who are in the market for sedans. We can also serve, say, your minivans or your pickup trucks to people who are in the market for a minivan or a pickup truck. Make it really relevant to that specific customer. If you don't have access to Oracle in-market shopper data, you can get creative. I think Facebook itself has an audience for soccer moms or something like that. You can target them with minivans, for example. The targeting is not going to be exact if you're using Facebook interest-based targeting, but at least you have more control over who is going to see your ads versus just kind of waiting there and hoping that someone has searched for your car. So I hope you've gotten more educated from this video on the key differences between Facebook ads versus Facebook Marketplace. And I hope you don't make the mistake that a lot of dealers make when they think, oh, I'm on Facebook Marketplace. My Facebook is definitely handled. There's nothing else that I need to do on Facebook to be competitive. That is completely false. With Facebook Marketplace, it's pretty much a free platform. When something is low cost or it's free, that means there's a very low barrier to entry. And that means all of your competitors are on Facebook Marketplace because it just doesn't cost much to do. And it's really simple. You just dump your inventory on Facebook Marketplace using a Facebook Marketplace partner, such as your website provider, your CRM provider. You know, a lot of providers will just offer to dump your inventory on Facebook Marketplace at no charge at all, or just a very, very minimal cost. So it's kind of diluted with just so much inventory in your area. With Facebook ads, there is a barrier to entry because it actually costs more than a couple $100s to run a good Facebook ads campaign. And it takes a lot of skill, a lot of know-how to actually do Facebook ads correctly. I mean, anyone can put some ad dollars onto the Facebook ads manager and get some ads live. But if you don't really know what you're doing, you're just gonna get a bunch of cheap clicks and likes and comments, and you're not gonna get any leads out of it. You're not gonna get any deals out of it. So there is a competitive edge if you find a company that is doing Facebook correctly. Do you know any companies, Sam? Yeah, I think I know one. It's called Shapeshift Group. If you find a company that is doing Facebook ads correctly, you have a competitive edge over your competitors who either are not paying attention to it, who are maybe running with an agency that doesn't really know about targeting, doesn't really know how to run inventory ads, or maybe they are just spending a ton of money, but they're not spending it on the right ads. They're not spending it on the right people, and they're just burning cash hoping that their Facebook ad campaigns work. You can actually spend less than your competitors on Facebook ads and get a better results if you're running with a better process and they are not. So if you haven't taken advantage of it, or if you feel like it's just not getting done, feel free to reach out to us at Shapeshift. We'll make sure your Facebook ads are done right. There are some links below to get in contact with me and my team. We'll do a free analysis of your store and show you what you're doing wrong and what we could be doing for you to get a competitive edge over other dealerships in your region. Well, I hope this has been another informational, educational video brought to you by your friends at Shapeshift Group. My name is Sam. If you made it to the end of this video, you must have found something useful, so please give this video a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss out on more free gems like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified on the latest and greatest information coming out on the Facebook ads space for car dealerships. That's it for the video. I'm gonna go have a beer. It is Sunday evening here and I'm done. Till next time, see ya.